people who use pathetic and predictable parroted talking points. And gentlemen, what I'd like to go over right now is now the census, I think, is largely over. There's one thing that bothered me, and I know a lot of conservatives and a lot of people already did videos on this, how they're only filling out the first question, how many people live in your house and what their names are, etc. Because we saw these commercials saying at the census, if you don't fill it out, your state might not get in on the goodies. I'm paraphrasing here. Your state may not get the goodies it deserves from the federal government, which of course is supplied by the taxpayers. And it makes me wonder, how many states are allowed to suck off the federal teat before they say enough's enough? And don't they realize that if a state like, let's say, California and Illinois, two states that have massive liabilities for public sector pensions, are taxpayers in Iowa and Wisconsin and Idaho going to bail them out time and time again? Are we going to reward them for their failures? So, it defeats the purpose. I mean, how many states? What if all 50 of them are feeding off the federal government? I mean, you can't, money doesn't grow on trees. And this whole thing in the census of fill it out because then your state will get the benefits it needs. And when you couple that with this talking point that I've heard from liberals, and maybe you have as well, that states are strapped and they're hurting, and Iowa's one of the worst state. I live in Iowa. Illinois is also another really bad one. Actually, California is not in the top 10 per capita, but with their public sector pension underfunding, it's going to be a problem for years and years to come. New York's also in a big hole. New Jersey's in a big hole. States are hurting. And if you go watch my other video, Refuting Liberal Talking Points, we need higher taxes, more government spending, refutes the notion that it's been low taxes that have caused this. No, federal, state, and local governments have been bringing in money hand over fist for quite some time. They just couldn't stop spending, and that's why they're in trouble. The census was not intended as a subsidy game for states to suck off the federal teat. It's the enumeration of the people for the House of Representatives to decide which state gets how many seats, and in 1911 they fixed it at 435, so obviously a state like Iowa, I think we're going to lose one. Other states like Texas will gain. So it's not intended for that. And secondly, if they say states aren't getting enough aid, again, I'll have a link on the bottom there. You can look at the graph. Federal aid to the states has increased in real dollars. Keep that in mind. This is real dollars. From less than $100 billion in 1960 to over $600 billion today. That's in inflation-adjusted dollars. The last time we saw a decrease in real dollars was during Reagan's first term. Since then, and before that, it's just steadily increasing. George W. Bush, you look at how it trended up during Bush. Bush was the Republican version of LBJ, doling out money to states left and right for this and that. George Bush was spending like LBJ, like I said, the Republican version of. So if anyone tells you the census, number one, is for you got to fill it out so your state can suck off the federal teat and rob from other taxpayers, you can tell them, you can laugh. And then if they tell you states are hurt, because they're not getting enough aid from the federal government, you can tell them that's also a bunch of BS. And don't believe them on that. The problem is spending, okay, not too low taxes. And here's my little buddy. Even Barack endorses this. He's probably not going to act on it because he's a spineless troglodyte. And in November 2012, oh, you're done. Oh, by the way, that was a gift from my mother who, I told her to get me something political when she went out to Hawaii. And she got me that. And just because she got it for me, I'm not going to destroy it. But I figured I'd just add that to it there. And there's Barack, you're done. Oh, Barack, you're done in 2012, my friend. Have a nice day. And don't thank me now.